I do. It's just amplification. I mean, these breaches have been happening for years now. Everyone feels lucky if it's not them in the news. I feel especially bad for those who are the folks that end up in the news. This is the age-old question, though. It's, do you have good backups and disaster recovery plans, business continuity plans, if you happen to be affected by one of these breaches? And I think in the cloud world, the attitude, or maybe it's like a misunderstanding, folks think that it's the cloud provider's responsibility to provide the resilience and the restoration of the operation. And that may be the case, but I think it's best that you understand it. One of the things I'm picking up on here at Oktane this year is that the IAM resilience vendor landscape has grown significantly. So I think everybody is starting to understand this problem and now looking at investigating solutions like yours.
That's true. We also are feeling totally different attitudes from customers around the IAM resilience. We're being asked a lot of questions around that. And also the responsibility between the vendor and the customer is more clear now as people are doing more analysis around their business continuity plans.
I do think it's going to be the CISO is where the buck stops for identity systems, security systems in general. We call our podcast Identity at the Center. It's for a very good reason, which is that identity is really the center of cybersecurity. And really a lot of business functionality comes back to identity. Systems just don't work when the identity system is down. And so any good business continuity plan is going to take that into consideration. But I will tell you that folks who are not badge information security perhaps don't have the understanding that cloud applications are not 100% responsibility of that SaaS vendor to conduct all the processes in the event of a disaster. So organizations really need to do these tabletop exercises, and they need to have identity built into their disaster recovery plan. Well, that's something that needs to be designed in the business continuity plan. But generally speaking, the IT teams have been traditionally responsible for backing up systems, and they have a significant role. But there is a roles, accountability, responsibility matrix that's required. I guess my gut reaction to that is going to be information security is going to be responsible, but the accountability is never going to shift outside the organization. Ultimately, the buck needs to stop within the organization to identify this person has to be accountable for restoring that system within whatever the restoration timeline is. You know, if it has to be back online within 4 hours or 12 hours, what is the game plan? What's the plan if that's to take place, and then who's responsible, ultimately accountable for that?
So at the end, the ultimate responsibility is probably over the CIO, who needs to provide SLA for the business.
Right.
That's a very interesting understanding thing that the older guys like we are experiencing the old days of the data center. That was very common to have an SLA for each system with expected return time objectives, return point objectives. Today, I think it's something that needs to be re-engineered back into the mindset of the companies.
Yeah, and really the understanding of how it works. Really, you have to kind of peel back the onion in terms of what is your contract or what are your terms with the vendor in terms of who's responsible for what. You can't just make broad assumptions.